Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today's story takes us to Sweden, where Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky experienced a moment that caught him completely off guard. The emotional reaction, the atmosphere, and the symbolism of the event have spread across the world, drawing attention not only for its political significance, but also for its deeply human impact. This was more than a diplomatic visit. It became a reminder of the cost of war, the power of solidarity, and the unexpected ways the world continues to stand with Ukraine. When Zelensky arrived in Sweden, expectations were high but standard. Meetings with the Prime Minister, military discussions, and cooperation agreements were on the schedule. Yet, what happened when he stepped into the main square of Stockholm was something he clearly did not expect. Thousands of people had gathered, waving both Ukrainian and Swedish flags, singing songs of support, and chanting his name. The crowd's energy was electric, and Zelensky's face revealed the emotional weight of that moment. It wasn't about politics anymore, it was about gratitude, resilience, and shared humanity. As cameras captured the scene, Zelensky paused for a few seconds, visibly moved. His eyes filled with tears as the Ukrainian national anthem began to play, followed by the Swedish anthem. The sound of two nations standing together resonated across the square. For a man who has carried the burdens of war for so long, visiting battlefronts, meeting soldiers, consoling families, to stand in a peaceful European capital and feel that warmth was overwhelming. Reports say that even members of his delegation were surprised by the scale of the welcome. Many had anticipated a routine visit focused on military cooperation, especially regarding Sweden's production of advanced armored vehicles and weapons systems. Instead, it turned into a powerful demonstration of unity. People from all walks of life, students, families, veterans, and Ukrainian refugees, filled the streets to express gratitude to Sweden for its unwavering support and to show Zelensky that his struggle for Ukraine's freedom is not being fought alone. Sweden has been one of the countries most supportive of Ukraine since the Russian invasion began. From humanitarian aid to military assistance, Sweden's contribution has been significant. The Swedish government has provided advanced armored vehicles, anti-tank systems, and training for Ukrainian forces. But beyond material support, the emotional and moral backing shown by the Swedish people has made a deep impression. For Zelensky, this moment symbolized how deeply Ukraine's fight resonates far beyond its borders. Inside the official meetings, the tone was equally supportive. Swedish Prime Minister Ulf Kristersson praised Ukraine's resilience and reaffirmed Sweden's commitment to defend democratic values in Europe. Discussions focused on defense cooperation, joint weapons production, and Ukraine's long-term reconstruction. However, the highlight of the visit wasn't the policy agreements. It was the unexpected outpouring of emotion from the public that turned this trip into something unforgettable. Zelensky's speech in Stockholm reflected both gratitude and determination. He thanked the Swedish people for standing with Ukraine in one of the darkest chapters of its history. He said that every flag waved, every cheer heard, and every Ukrainian family welcomed in Sweden was a sign that freedom and humanity will always prevail over aggression and fear. His voice trembled as he spoke about the Ukrainian children now studying safely in Swedish schools, while their parents and loved ones continue to defend their homeland. One of the most touching moments came when Zelensky met Ukrainian refugees who had been living in Sweden since the start of the war. They presented him with drawings and letters from their children, thanking him for protecting their country. He spent time listening to their stories, tales of escape, loss, and survival. Many broke down in tears, and Zelensky himself struggled to keep his composure. This was not just a political leader meeting citizens abroad. It was a father, a fellow Ukrainian, connecting with people whose lives had been changed forever. In one particularly emotional scene, a young Ukrainian girl handed Zelensky a handmade blue and yellow bracelet. She told him her father was still fighting near Bakhmut. Zelensky took the bracelet, hugged her gently, and promised to wear it as a reminder of the bravery and sacrifices of every Ukrainian family. This image quickly went viral across social media, becoming one of the most shared moments of the trip, a simple yet powerful gesture that captured the entire emotional essence of his visit. Beyond the symbolic moments, this visit to Sweden carried strategic importance as well. Ukraine and Sweden discussed expanding their cooperation in the defense sector, with particular emphasis on the production and supply of armored vehicles like the CV-90. Sweden has already played a vital role in strengthening Ukraine's ground forces, and the new agreements could further enhance that partnership. Still, what stood out most wasn't just the military alliance, but the shared vision for peace, justice, and European unity. The emotions continued to flow as Zelensky addressed the Swedish parliament. Lawmakers gave him a standing ovation that lasted several minutes before he even began to speak. His message was clear that Ukraine's fight is Europe's fight. He reminded the world that the values of freedom and sovereignty are not abstract ideals, but real principles defended every day by Ukrainian men and women on the front lines. His words were met with thunderous applause, and several parliament members were visibly emotional, some even wiping away tears. Later in the day, Zelensky visited a military facility where Swedish and Ukrainian experts have been collaborating. There, he expressed admiration for Sweden's advanced technology and its willingness to share expertise. He highlighted how such partnerships are helping Ukraine modernize its army and defend itself more effectively against Russian aggression. The visit underscored a growing sense of solidarity, not just between governments, but between ordinary people who believe in the same cause. As the day drew to a close, Zelensky appeared more relaxed, though still visibly emotional. The intensity of the welcome, the stories he heard, and the kindness shown by the Swedish people seemed to deeply touch him. Those who were present described the atmosphere as one of mutual respect and quiet strength. It was clear that, for Zelensky, this visit had gone far beyond diplomacy. It had become a personal and emotional journey, one that reminded him why he continues to fight, lead, and hope. Media coverage across Europe quickly highlighted how different this visit felt compared to others. Analysts pointed out that while Zelensky's international trips are often filled with political negotiations and press conferences, the human connection in Sweden stood out. It was spontaneous, heartfelt, and genuine. Commentators noted that the event showed how much the world still believes in Ukraine's cause, even after nearly 3 years of war. The emotional scenes also served as a powerful message to Russia that attempts to isolate Ukraine have failed. Throughout the visit, Zelensky repeatedly emphasized that Ukraine's victory will depend not only on weapons, but also on unity, compassion, and the unbreakable spirit of its allies. Sweden's embrace demonstrated exactly that. The tears, the cheers, and the heartfelt words exchanged in Stockholm revealed a truth often lost in the noise of politics, that even amid destruction, There is still room for hope, empathy, and human connection. As Zelensky departed from Sweden, he paused for one final moment before boarding his plane. He looked out at the crowd, many waving flags and shouting words of encouragement. He raised his hand in gratitude, his expression a mix of pride and sorrow. The emotions of the day seemed to linger in his eyes, a blend of exhaustion, inspiration, and determination. For him, this wasn't just another diplomatic stop. It was a reminder of what Ukraine is fighting for: freedom, dignity, and the right to live in peace. The world saw a different side of Volodymyr Zelensky that day, not just the wartime president, not just the commander-in-chief, but the human being behind the leader. The moment in Sweden will likely be remembered as one of the most touching chapters of his presidency. It showed that even in the face of unrelenting conflict, moments of solidarity and compassion can still shine through, powerful enough to move nations and bring tears to the eyes of even the strongest leaders. Zelensky's unexpected emotional response in Sweden has already sparked global conversations about resilience, leadership, and humanity. Many say it was a reminder that while wars are fought with weapons, they are endured with hearts. His visit symbolized not only the strength of Ukrainian, Swedish relations, but also the power of shared values in a time of darkness. As the Ukrainian president continues his journey to secure support and peace for his country, moments like these remind the world why his leadership matters. His emotions in Sweden were not a sign of weakness. They were a reflection of courage, gratitude, and hope. And for those who witnessed it, whether in person or through the screen, it was a moment that transcended politics and touched something universal: the longing for peace, the bond of humanity, and the belief that even in the hardest times, compassion can still light the way forward. That is why Zelensky did not expect to see what he saw in Sweden. It wasn't just a crowd, it was a mirror of the world's soul, reflecting back the empathy, unity, and shared strength that keep the spirit of Ukraine alive.